What's crack-a-lackin'? Welcome in to My Mind is a Weapon Fantasy Football Show.
Welcome into episode 101, everybody. I cannot believe our last episode was episode 100. Absolutely amazing. Once again, I cannot thank you guys enough. The journey has been absolutely amazing. Today's episode will be my tight ends. If we can crack the secret to the impossible tight end position this week for week 7, I'm going to give you my top 30 in tiers. So remember, guys, the Bears and Cowboys are out. So Jake Ferguson and Cole Kmet, make sure you have replacements so they're not in your roster this week. Now, before we dive into it, guys, make sure you hit that thumbs up. Make sure you smash that subscription. Turn that bell on. It helps me out a ton. I will be live Thursday to Monday with tons of different content creators covering every aspect of Week 7 fantasy football to help you guys out. And if you guys can't make the live shows, you can always drop any comments you have down below. One of my goals is to try to get to every single comment you guys have to help you get that weekly win and get you guys that ultimate goal of that championship this year, guys. And let's dive into the impossible tight end position. So, guys, if you're new to the channel, this is my tight end board heading into week 7. You will see the ball list here. These are my must-start tight ends. As hard as this position is, these are going to be my must-start guys based off my research this week. Now, at the bottom here, you're going to see guys that have fallen off my board or who are hurt right now. So you have Luke Musgrave on IR. He's going to be out. The Ben Sims guy got a couple catches. Kind of weird. You're going to see Greg Dulcich, who I was really high on this year. And for some reason, the Denver Broncos just don't want to use an athletic specimen tight end, which is weird to me. Cole Kmet is also on a bye, and Noah Gray has fallen into my rankings. But he's seen a little work here. So kind of a dart throw, late play if you want to look into, some DFS or some crazy calls with him. He's seen a decent amount of volume, but I don't have him in my top 32 or top 30. And also, guys, we have TJ Hawkinson here. So TJ Hawkinson practiced Monday. I don't know the update yet, so I'm going to leave him down here at the bottom. But what I'm going to say is it's his first game back. But God, the game is so enticing with how much of a shootout this game is going to be that I'd put him in my top 15, but I would temper my expectations. But again, I don't know yet. So pay attention to your rankings when you look at him. But I'm sure if you held TJ Hawkinson this long, you're going to start him anyways, right? So tight end number 1 on the week coming in. And if you just watch my wide receiver video, this is exactly the game I want to be a part of. Just like I talked about with the Vikings here with TJ Hawkinson. These defenses both give up the most yards. The Detroit Lions and the Minnesota Vikings both give up the most yards to the wide receiver position, the most pass yards in the game. And versus the tight end, Sam Laporta is going to be my absolute smash play this week. I know he only saw 1 reception last week, took it to the house, which saved a lot of fantasy days. But when you're going up against the Minnesota Vikings, guys, so before the bye, they had already given up 2 tight end ones back-to-back in Tucker Kraft and George Kittle. This is where they struggle, is versus the tight end, versus the wide receiver. They stop the run very well, but they can't stop the pass. So versus the tight end, they rank 26th, giving up 13.1 points per game, 31st in the red zone at 4.6, and they allow 51 yards to the position a game. So when you think of 51 yards, you look at it like, oh, it's only 50 yards. For a tight end, that's a ton, guys. That is top 10 worst in the NFL at yards. There's teams that give up 30 yards. So Sam Laporta is going to be my absolute favorite tight end 1 this week, guys. Now, looking down at number 2 here, this man it just produces nonstop. He may be tight end 1 by the end of the year. George Kittle is just on an absolute tear with Brock Purdy. The connection since him being hurt with the UCL and now he's healthy just looks 10 times better. The 49ers this week are going to get that matchup versus the Chiefs. And every single 49er is mad at the Chiefs, man. They all just want to smack them for 2 Super Bowls and all the calls that are bad and everything like that. And here's the plus, guys. This is why it's absolutely insane. The Kansas City Chiefs are dead last in the NFL versus the tight end, giving up 18 points a game to the tight end position. 18 points. George Kittle is going to fly this week. They rank 13th in the red zone. They stingy up a little bit there as well, but still it's George Kittle. That doesn't bother me in the red zone. And here's the difference, guys. Let me show you the breakdown. The Chiefs give up 81 yards, 81.8 yards to the tight end position a game. That's just the tight end position. Second behind that's worst, is the Ravens at 72. And third behind that drops to 56. So they give up literally 30 more yards to the position than almost the entire NFL. George Kittle is going to absolutely eat this week. I was going to put him number 1, but I just feel like the Vikings-Lions game is going to be one of those shootout, massive, high-scoring games. Number 3 on the list is going to be Trey the Terminator T85 McBride. So the massive amount of volume he's going to see here is the reason I have him so high. The matchup versus the Chargers against the tight end position is bottom. It's below bottom tier. So the Chargers rank 22nd versus the tight end. They give up 11.8. They're the best in the red zone, though. They give up 0. They're number 1 in the red zone versus the tight end position. They're tied with the New York Jets. So it's a very, very tough team to score on for the tight end in the red zone. But Trey McBride, with Marvin Harrison looking to be out on Monday night with the concussion, everything's going to funnel through him. The Chargers are very good versus the run, guys. James Conner is in for a tough matchup. It's going to have to go through T85 Terminator McBride, my guy. And this is why I have him high, even though the matchup isn't like super plus. It's just volume is king in fantasy football. And when your stud wide receiver is out, they're going to lean on Trey McBride in this game heavy. Number 4, we're going to stick with the 49er game. It's going to be Travis Kelce. And I think it's going to be a little different look here. So the 49ers did get kind of beat up the past 2 weeks at tight end. They've been missing Tre'Davious Ward. They're missing Hufanga. So they were number 3 or 4 versus the tight end. Now they've dropped to, or I say we, I'm a Niner fan. Now we've dropped to about 14th versus the tight end. So those numbers are kind of skewed because of injuries. The Niners are very good versus the tight end. They played Travis Kelce enough now to know how to lock him up. He's still going to see volume, but with all the injuries the Chiefs have at wide receiver, it's still going to go through Travis Kelce, and he's been absolutely feasting. Number 5, and man, was it good to see him back. Evan Ingram. This man just came back and exploded onto the scene in his first game back. Like there was no time missed. Like he didn't need any injury, revamp up, nothing. He looked absolutely amazing. They're staying in London for another game, which is like a home game for the Jaguars for some reason. They just always play in London, and they're giving them 2 back-to-back games. They get the New England Patriots. They rank 16th versus tight ends, so middle of the tier there, 10 points a game. They rank 11th in the red zone, so a little bit of their lower touchdown upside for Ingram in this game. And they give up 50 yards as well. So this is another smash play for Evan Ingram here. And you saw T-Law on the connection right away. And when you have Christian Gonzalez, most likely going to be on, either BTJ, I think he's in the wide receiver 1 role, or Christian Kirk a little bit here in the slot there. This is going to be the Evan Ingram free play. He's going to see a lot of work in this game, and I love Evan Ingram, especially with ETN banged up as well. Number 6 is going to be Brock Bowers. Just go like that if you own Brock Bowers. Just clap your hands. Devontae Adams is gone. This man is going to be the focal point, but there's a little downside to that as well here too. So when you become the number 1 focal point, that's what the defense targets. So do I ever say sit him with him being the guy? No, but I'm just tempering it a little bit to see how it looks from here on out, because he is going to be the guy. I'm not taking Jacoby Myers as the number 1 target. He will be the number 1 wide receiver, but the focal point will be Brock Bowers. But it's such a good matchup, guys. The Rams are 31st versus the tight end, giving up 15 points a game. They rank 27th in the red zone, and they give up 59 yards, which is 3rd worst in the NFL. So all signs point to the smash play. I just want to see how it looks first, with his first game being the number 1 target on the field. So that's all it is. I'm not saying sit Brock Bowers in any single way. I'm just saying I have him a little lower because I haven't seen him as the focal point of the offense yet. Number 7, everybody just hates on him, and he just keeps balling. Kyle Pitts is in for another smash game, guys. Past 2 weeks, hit 2 deep bombs. Past 2 weeks, hit yards. Didn't find the end zone. Got tackled at the 10-yard line. He was super close as a shoestring tackle. Could have scored a touchdown. Now you get the Seattle Seahawks in a high-scoring game affair here. And the Seahawks are 27th versus the tight end, giving up 13.2 points. They're 28th in the red zone, so high touchdown upside for Pitts. And they're 57th in yards, which is 4th worst, or 57 yards a game, which is 4th worst. This is another smash Kyle Pitts game. And you're going to have Woolen back, or however you say his name, Woolen. Their star corner looks to be back this week. So he'll put a little work on a DK or J Season or Lockett, however that works out with them. Which, or sorry, I said the Seahawks side. They'll put a little work on Drake May and Mooney, which will open up even more for Kyle Pitts. Number 8, Dalton Kincaid. I think this helps him a ton. So newly acquired Amari Cooper is headed to the Buffalo Bills. There's been no wide receiver to take any help defensively off of Dalton Kincaid. So now you get a little star out there. You could say Khalil Shakir. He's not Amari Cooper, guys. Let's be real. And now Dalton Kincaid is going to get a little freedom to run a little freer. He's going to start moving up my rankings, guys, here. He's still tied in 11 on the season. So, I mean, he hasn't had a terrible season. He hasn't had the ceiling game yet. He's had a bunch of floor games. Now, with the Tennessee Titans, this is a very tough matchup. The Tennessee Titans are number 1 versus the tight end. They only allow 5 points a game. They're number 9 in the red zone. They only allow 1 point a game in the red zone. And they only allow 24 yards to the tight end position, which is rough. And that's second worst or second best in the NFL. But the way I look at it is they don't just line Kincaid up at tight end. This guy's out at wide receiver. He's out at slot. He's motioning. He's everywhere. And I think in Amari's first game, Amari will be tempered here a little bit. So I still like Kincaid as a start. But again, it's a very, very tough matchup versus the Titans. And I think the Bills could get ahead and just pound the run here, which also scares me a little bit with Kincaid if he doesn't score early. But you're still starting Dalton Kincaid if you have him. Number 9, the resurgence of the old Mark Andrews is finally back, guys. Jesus, after I don't know what the start was this year with the Baltimore Ravens and what they were doing with Isaiah Likely in the first game. I guess that was because the Chiefs bracketed him and Isaiah Likely popped off. I never bought into the Isaiah Likely hype. I know he got 2 touchdowns last week, but it was on very minimal volume. Mark Andrews is always the guy in this system. He's always going to be the guy across the middle. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers rank 18th versus the tight end, giving up 10 points a game, but they're very good in the red zone. They rank 4th. They give up 0.3, so very low touchdown upside. But in yards, they rank 5th most, so they give up 57 yards. So there's a lot of volume to be had here in a shootout game on Monday Night Football, and you get the last laugh. I love it. You're starting Mark Andrews this week. Number 10, and this one hurts. This one hurts because the connection with Justin Fields was growing a little bit. I still like Pat Freiermuth because he's the second option on a team and his target share is still very high. It's just, man, Russell Wilson never targets his tight ends, guys. It's very, very rough. You're playing the New York Jets. The New York Jets are number 7 versus the tight end. They give up 7.8 points. Like I said, they're tied in the red zone for number 1 with the Chargers. They give up 0 points to the tight end position in the red zone. So very tough chance to score here. And 31 yards. So not a great play here. Volume is king to me, and I like the volume he sees. I don't know how it's going to look with Russell Wilson. We'll see if he can ever look at his tight ends. But I'm calling it now. I've tweeted it. I've said it in a couple videos. This will be Russell Wilson's only start. I think the Jets mop him up, and you see Justin Fields back out there in week 8. Number 11, my sneaky play that I've moved up my board higher than every single content creator I know on planet Earth is Cade Otton this week. He's going to be one of my smash starts in my later video, and this is why. The Baltimore Ravens guys ranked 28th versus the tight end at 13.4. Cade Otton has also seen the third most targets in the NFL position in the past 4 weeks. He's growing in Liam Combs' system. I know you have Godwin and Evans who are due for a big game here as well, but I still like Cade Otton as well. They rank 10th in the red zone, so they give up 1.1 lower touchdown upside there. But here's what you got to like. They're second behind the Kansas City Chiefs in yards per game. They give up 72 yards per game, the second worst in the NFL. There's a ton of opportunity here for Cade Otton, and I'm starting him in a lot of my competitive leagues this week. Number 12, the old wily vet Zach Ertz that I just wish I want to see Ben Sinnott so bad, man, but he's just out there doing his thing. They're 4-2. He's not going to leave when they're winning. So he even dropped, I said as a must start last week, he dropped 10.8 points. I nailed that. Now you get another matchup here where you're looking at a high scoring game probably. The Carolina Panthers, they can keep up. So, I mean, it looks like in my head that the Commanders could get a lead here and run away with it like 42-12. That could be possible. But I feel like Andy Dalton is going to be good against them. But the Carolina Panthers versus the tight end rank 23rd, so they give up 12 points a game. So this is a very good safe 4 play here with Zach Ertz. They rank 21st in the red zone. Touchdown upside is there. And they give up 53 yards. So Zach Ertz is a very nice tight end play this week again. I nailed it last week. I would say start him again this week. Number 13 is going to be David Njoku moving down to tier 2 here. Now, this one's kind of interesting to me, right? So Amari Cooper's gone. You still have Deshaun Watson throwing the football, which is absolutely painful in every single way. But you get the Cincinnati Bengals. And the Cincinnati Bengals, this should be a smash play here. So they rank 24th versus the tight end, giving up 12 points a game. So great opportunity here. They rank 30th in the red zone. So very high touchdown upside for Njoku. And they give up 46.2 yards per game, which is top 10 worst. I want to put him in my baller tier with these numbers. I want to put him as a top 5 to 7 tight end. It's just Deshaun Watson, man. I just can't. I'm almost done with the guy completely. He should be on most waiver wires. I don't know why Stefanski wants to stick behind him and keep him as the quarterback. It's time to let the crab cake Jameis Winston fly. Heading out number 14, Dalton Schultz. Now, I've never been a Dalton Schultz guy in any single way, any single game this season. I never wanted to draft him, never wanted to pick him up, never wanted to start him. This is a game where Dalton Schultz is startable, guys. And I know you're going to have Jair. Well, let me break down defense first, and then I'll get to why. So the Green Bay Packers are third worst versus the tight end. They rank 30th. They give up 13.8 points. They're 22nd in the red zone. So touchdown high upside is there for Dalton Schultz. And they give up 57 yards, which is also bottom 5. Now, why I like it a lot this week more than any other week. And not only that, my guy, NFL DFS pick, shout out to him. Check out his Twitter. Check out his YouTube stuff. He does amazing work. He's always on the show. Brought it up to me. But you're going to have Jair also, who just played lights out versus Marvin Harrison. He's probably going to play lights out versus Stephon Diggs. So that opens up a little more volume. You're going to have Tank Dell taking the deep ball off across the top. They'll cover that as well. He'll still get open probably, but you're going to have probably the focal point of Dalton Schultz here this week. And this is going to be one of my smash play tight ends on my video. And again, shout out to NFL DFS picks. Check out all his work. It's amazing. He brought this point up to me. I dove into it a little deeper, and I like it a ton this week. Number 15 is going to be Isaiah Likely, to go along with what I was saying with Mark Andrews. I should have talked about them both at the same time. The Baltimore Ravens in a shootout game here. It's going to be very, very nice for both these guys. And I'll re-go through the Bucks here. I'll do it twice. They rank 18th versus tight end, giving up 10.4. I just got to pull my sheet back up. Fourth in the red zone, so low touchdown upside and 57 yards a game. So again, a lot of volume for both the guys. I just think the volume is starting to go Mark Andrews' way a little more here. Number 16, Hunter Henry. Man, what I say about Drake May, my sleeper play of the week last year at quarterback. He's going to unlock the offense in his first game. This game is glorious, guys. The Jacksonville Jaguars, if they have a weak spot, it's tight end, but it's not really a weak spot. So they're bottom of the barrel versus running back, bottom of the barrel versus the wide receiver, and middle tier bottom versus the tight end. But here's what you got to like, right? So they're 19th versus the tight end, giving up 11.7, but they're 29th in the red zone. That is where Hunter Henry lives. This is a very, very high touchdown upside game for Hunter Henry, and I absolutely love the start for Hunter Henry this week. Plus, they give up 42 yards to the position a week, which is about top 15, top 20. And this is going to be a passing game. It's just, that's what Jacksonville's weak at in every single aspect, even versus the run too as well, I guess you could say. We don't know if Ramondre is going to be out there yet. I mean, if it's Gibson, you smash Henry even higher. But if Ramondre's out there, it'll take a little volume away. Number 17, Dallas Goedert. We don't know if he's going to be out there. And honestly, from like this point on, so I'm just going to call it now, from my 16 down to 30 here, guys, these are kind of my start guys in the top tier, two tiers here. But Dallas Goedert's kind of risky to me. I think this, like I said, with A.J. Brown and Devonta, my wide receiver video before, that I think this is going to be the revenge Saquon game, and you're not going to see a lot of work here. And the New York Giants versus the tight end guys ranked 9th. So I don't think this is a big Goddard game. They only give up 8 points a game. They rank 7th in the red zone, so top 10 in both categories, and give up 40 yards. I just think this is a Saquon to forever revenge game, but I have Goddard at 17 if you needed a tight end play. Tight end 18, Tucker Kraft. I called it last week, man. I said everyone's going to be riding high on Tucker Kraft, and he's going to fall apart. It's exactly what happened. He's going to fall apart this week, too. I do not like the matchup here at all. That's why I have him so low. The Houston Texans rank 2nd versus the tight end, giving up 6 points a game. They rank 18th in the red zone, so kind of a touchdown upside there. And they give up 21 yards a game. This is their strength, is stopping the run and the tight end. Their weakness is the wide receiver. I'm not a giant fan of Tucker Kraft this week, but if you need to force play him, you can, but I don't love it. 19, Tyler Conklin. And it looks like now the targets are just going to get spread out even more for him. So he's currently still a top 20 tight end in the season, averaging 8.4 points a game. You play the Steelers here. The Steelers defense, if there is any weak spot to the Pittsburgh Steelers defense, you can say it's the tight end, but I don't really buy that it is. I mean, they had one big blow-up game last week where the tight end killed them. So they went from literally, that's all it takes in one game, by the way, for fantasy football, is one game for your tight end to go for 20 points, and you can go from 5 to 30, just like that. So that's what happened, right? So all of a sudden, now they're ranked 25th versus the tight end, when last week they were 5th. So don't buy into that number. It's kind of skewed. So the 12.5 points, they got crushed last week by it. 26 points, or they ranked 26 in the red zone. So all the numbers look great, but now you have Devontae Adams added as well. But the update is that he's already playing. You know he has a connection with A-Rod. Nothing's going to change there. The volume's going to drop a lot for Conklin. Tier 3, number 2 here. This one's interesting to me. Jonnu Smith has a very, very good matchup here, guys. So the Indianapolis Colts ranked 29th versus the tight end. 13.4 points. They ranked dead last in the red zone. High touchdown upside for Jonnu Smith. They gave up 46 yards. Bottom 10 there as well. But again, this is like my Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle from my wide receiver videos and A-Chain from my running back videos. It's Tyler Huntley, man. I just don't trust it. If you need a dart throw play, the matchup is great. But I just wish Tua was back, man. It looks like next week we might get him back. So that's a good sign there. Not official, just what the updates say right now. At number 21 is going to be Noah Fant. And they get the Falcons this week, man. The Atlanta Falcons defense is not too shabby, man. They're getting better and better and better as the week goes on. I've been saying this since I started my videos in week 1. They're 8th versus the tight end. They're 5th in the red zone. They only give up 0.3, so this is damn near a top 5 defense all around versus the tight end with 30 points per game. I do not like the Noah Fant play this week at all versus the Falcons. And I'm going to kind of rapid fire the rest of these guys because these, once you start to get down to like the 30s, these are very, very deep. So I'm going to make them quick here at some points. So the Saints, Taysom Hill could be back off injury. They're going to get the Broncos. Broncos defense, since they lost Pat Surtain last week, their defense dropped a lot. But still, it was a number 1 pass defense before that. If they have any weak spot, it's versus the tight end. They rank 21st versus the tight end, get 11.8 points. But, I mean, with Spencer Rattler, who knows? Taysom Hill could be your dart throw play. I just never trust it. Jawan Johnson, I don't trust either to play or to have a big game. He could with all the wide receivers out. I mean, you could take a shot on that. Looks like Olave and Shaheed will be out. So they both could be sneaky plays. It's just hard to trust. Number 22 is going to be Colby Parkinson. They go. The LA Rams are getting the Las Vegas Raiders, and the Raiders are just absolute shambles, but they rank 11th versus the tight end. They're very good versus the tight end. They rank 12th in the red zone. It's almost a top 10 defense all around, and 40 yards per game. And you're going to have Cooper Kupp back, it looks like. Maybe helps him, maybe doesn't. He's going to be very touchdown dependent. Cooper Kupp's probably going to see 15, 17 targets if he's out there playing. Chig Okonkwo is going to be number 3 in tier 4. Don't really like him. He had a plus matchup last week versus the Colts. Almost, 3 catches, 30 yards. Nothing special to talk about there. And I'm going to go through Mike Gesicki and Eric All here real quick because we're heading to the end here. Man, I'm waiting for the Eric All breakout game. I mean, he's got the talent. He's taking the job. They get the Cleveland Browns. They're top 6 versus tight end. I don't like any of the Bengals in this game versus tight end. They're very strong on that point. But Eric All is someone to definitely keep your eye on. Tier 5, number 1, the guy I've been marking yellow on all my stardom sit-ups. Keep paying attention to Theo Johnson. His role keeps growing. He's still a rookie, but he's getting top 5 snap share percentage as a starting tight end. Volume is king. It's going to start to click at some point. Not in this game. The Eagles are number 3 versus the tight end. They're number 8 in the red zone, so you're looking at pretty much a top 6 to 5 defense versus tight end position. And you're going to have Neighbors back getting all the volume there. I don't like anything from Theo Johnson this week. And to round up the last 2, it's going to be Dawson Knox. He caught a touchdown. Of course, it's not Dalton Kincaid when you need it. And then you look at Jatavion Sanders, who's stuck in the Dave Canales system where they never use the tight end, but you run 100% of the routes. So, I mean, again, these guys at the bottom here, starting from about Hunter Henry, this is where it gets a little sketch for me, my video guys at the bottom. But I'm going to rank them all out for you guys because that's what I like to do. So I'll give you my top 30 there. And remember, if TJ Hawkinson plays, and he practiced already, I'll put him right at the end of the starting point here. So TJ Hawkinson, if he's out there, I'll bookmark it as my starting point right here. In between Hunter Henry and Dallas Goedert, I'd put him as a startable tight end because the game could be an absolute shootout. That is the end of the episode, guys. Thanks for rocking with me today. That is my tight end week 7 tier rankings, top 30. Remember, Jake Ferguson, Cole Kmet on a bye. Make sure they are out of your lineups. And that is all my rankings, guys. So you have my defense kickers, quarterbacks, running backs, wide receivers, tight ends. All that is out now. You can check out all the videos before if you want to. After this video, I will get all my stardom sit-em started. So I'll probably get quarterback, running back, wide receiver, possibly tight end today. I'll try to get it all to you, but I promise it will all be up before Thursday. Before we head out, guys, make sure you smash that like, smash that subscription button, turn that bell on. It helps me out a ton. I cannot thank you guys enough. I cannot believe we hit 100 episodes. And I will be live all weekend, guys, Thursday to Monday. Again, if you guys want to pop in the live streams, it's greatly appreciated to see you guys in there. And if you can't make the live streams, drop any comments you have down below. One of my goals is to answer all the comments you guys drop to help you get your weekly wins and get you that ultimate goal of a championship. That's it for me, guys. SleezBall out. I'll catch you in the next episode.